Good evening. Welcome to Combe TV, episode 96. And we've got some pretty cool events coming up. My name is Chris Dawes, and it's a delight to be back joining you. And just to make sure everybody knows that all is still okay with the world, I've got a gin and tonic on the go. Safe to say it was going to happen, wasn't it? Dilly dilly, as you all say. Don't forget, keep the comments coming in, the questions. We've got some amazing guests that are going to take us through things. Second half of the show, we're going to be talking about the Autumn Classic that's coming up this weekend, historical racing festival, really. And there's so much going on off track as well as on track. Millions of pounds worth of cars that will be both sides of the fence. And it's over 2 days, so it's Saturday and Sunday. I shall be doing a mixture of post-race and pit lane interviews, plus I will be catching up with some star drivers. So in the marquee, with some amazing cars on display, I shall be interviewing some pretty cool, famous faces down there as well. Tim Perry, one of our Orange Army, evening everyone. Dilly dilly, Autumn Classic this weekend. It is indeed, mate. I knew you'd be there. I knew we could trust you. Good to hear from you, mate. But before we get onto that, and we're going to be joined by Max Simmons for the second half. He's just down there, so he's just learnt that you're second half, Max. Thumbs up from Max. He's going to take us through everything that we can expect to see throughout the course of the weekend. And Marcus Pye is going to join us, and he's going to be giving us a bit of an amuse-bouche about what we're going to see on track, the cars, the drivers, everything like that. Just going to be jammed with amazing stuff to see. So he's going to give us an insight. But before we get that, we're going to speak to somebody who's going to give us an insight of what we can look forward to a week on Saturday. It's a first for the circuit that we genuinely cannot wait to see. And clearly neither can you, because it's sold out in something like 10 minutes or something stupid like that. Everybody loves it when we see drifting at the circuit, but up until now, it's been demos. We're going to actually see competition drifting, a world tour coming to Castle Combe Circuit, and it's going to be so special. To tell us all about what we can expect, what it's going to be like, it is the LZ, I remember Dave, LZ World Tour 3.0, and from Drift Games, the CEO, Dave Egan, he's going to take us through what we can get excited about. Greetings, Dave.
Hello, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Joining us all the way from Dublin.
Yeah, just outside Dublin, near where our HQ is. Actually, currently getting cars ready for the LZ World Tour in Castle Combe. So, no early nights for the next 7 days, that's for sure.
Absolutely. I mean, you probably take all of this in your stride, but you know full well the excitement and the appetite for this, especially the Castle Combe faithful, but even anybody else who get their hands on tickets, is massive because it's a world tour coming to Wiltshire, isn't it?
Yeah, this is for people who don't know, it's a concept event that was so Adam LZ with the title of the event itself. He is a huge content creator turned professional drifter in the US, probably one of the most popular, millions of followers, millions of subscribers, and he's been making a video every 2 days since he was 15 years of age, and he's now 31. So he has grown that popularity from a BMXer, got into drifting, ended up building drift cars, learning, and then became one of the top 5 competitive drifters in the world, which is a very unusual story. And I, on my side, had been running some of the biggest drift events. We ran series in Ireland. I ran the British series for 3 years, all over the world, the Emirates, everywhere. And we ended up running Drift Masters, the European Championship. And at that point, I saw this niche in the market with Adam that we could combine. Let's say if this was boxing, you have 2 types of boxing. You have celebrity boxing, which is very popular, and you have the actual professional boxing. So what we did with drifting was we brought both together. So what we did was we took the best drivers in the world and the biggest personalities in the game, put them together and put them all on an equal playing field with tires. A lot of the internationals are, borrowing cars or whatever it may be for the event. And we put them together in a very sort of entertainment product sort of demonstration. So it is a competition, but it's a lot of fun. And it's the heavy competitions that everyone competes in. This is a chance for them to let their hair down, be a bit more expressive in their cars, maybe pick their crazier car over their competition car. And we have absolute fact, the best in the world coming to Castle Combe next weekend. The top 8 or 9 drivers on the planet are also in this competition as well. So it's a mix between huge personalities and really accomplished drivers, and they're all mixing it together for one crazy day. And then we also add a lot of external fun stuff like demonstrations of vehicles that drift but shouldn't. Like we have a Land Rover that drifts, and we have lots of other things that happen. And then we also have fantasy battles. So within competition, like you have a bracketry or whatever, it's head-to-head battles. We can just decide to make up these crazy battles between the best guy from the UK and the best guy from America. Or we've often had husband and wife battles at this event just to see what would happen, or similar machinery. So we also have, I think, 500 show cars in the paddock, which are all curated and picked as the best modified cars in the UK. So it's a real celebration of car culture, a celebration of drifting, celebration of online content creation, which was so popular, has been so popular for the last maybe 10 years in car culture. And we mix it all in a pot, and a lot of people go out there, and a lot of personalities that never would meet under any other circumstances come together in Castle Combe to just have a great time.
And this is 3.0 because you've done it at Mondello Park the previous 2 years, haven't you?
So no, we've in this part of the world, Mondello was where it was the last 2 years, but 3.0 is the third season. So we've been to Australia, New Zealand, Quebec, Toronto, Florida, LA, and then Ireland and the UK. So quite a few, yeah.
Wow, just incredible. Sorry, yeah, we get the UK at last over here. And have you been to Castle Combe yet?
I have indeed. I've not only been to Castle Combe, I've drifted Castle Combe, and I've crashed in Castle Combe. So I've done all three things you need to do.
So you've played bingo and you got house. I've got you.
Yeah, you've got Castle Combe has some really forgiving air barriers. I'll say that, the best I've ever seen.
I mean, if you were there, then you also saw that. If I go back a few years at the action days, and we sort of, I remember when we started getting the drift guys coming out and doing demos, and it was like one session in the day. With an uncertainty from the circuit owners. They didn't really know what to expect. What they did suddenly find is that everybody appeared from everywhere else around the circuit up against the fences. They're out of the paddock, they're up at the fences, they're watching this, they're enjoying it. And over the years, it's increased to sort of 2-3 sessions during an action day, and it's just absolutely packed. I mean, it is a crowd puller, isn't it, drifting?
Yeah, I compete at the Drift Masters Championship, which is the premier championship. This was we just finished our event in Poland last Saturday, and we in that event they take the largest stadium in Poland. They tarmac the track from scratch in 2 days, and there was 54,000 people there, sold out in the stadium for the final of the championship. So it's a very, very visually dynamic motorsport, because what drifting essentially does is it takes the most exciting parts from lots of motorsports and puts them into shorter, packed. Years ago we used to have long form content, right? And now everything's a 30-second reel or a 30-second TikTok. Drifting is very similar. People like cars being close. Well, door-to-door action is what drifting is about. They like smoke because they like seeing guys do burnouts and power slides. That's all it is. They like speed. The average horsepower of a car that'll be there next weekend will be somewhere around 800 horsepower, I'd imagine, somewhere around that kind of thing, with high, sticky, grippy tires. So these are proper drag slicks on the back of the car to make them go as fast while they're drifting as possible. And then, of course, you've got the flames, the noise, and you've got the crashes, which everybody loves as well. So that's all compacted. And unlike many events, drifting is a spectator sport. So where Castle Combe has a huge circuit, we're only using one section of that circuit and building an amphitheater around it. So wherever you're standing or sitting, you can see start to finish of every run. We've got big screens going in if you miss anything from the start line. So we'll be using Quarry with a roundabout after Quarry and back through Quarry again. So we'll be using it as one section, not the whole circuit, because it's more ideal for drifting, keeping the cars close, but also everybody can see everything from one position, which is very much what drifting is based on. And it's the spectator is more important than the driver.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it is very much about the show, and I'm just picking up on one of the points you said there with the tyres. There's always this misconception that you throw on cheap dead tyres. It's like, no, you actually need grip, don't you? Contrary to what it looks like, it's easy to understand the misconception, isn't it? But it's like, no, you need to be in control to get it in those shapes, really.
Yeah, I mean, on the pro cars nowadays, we run. My current pro car is a Toyota Supra, and it's got 970 horsepower, and you need that power to push through the grip. So basically, we'll run a 285 140 thread wear rear tire, which is as sticky as we can get it. We'll run it anywhere down to 12 psi to make the surface patch as wide as we can, and you're completely softening the rear of the car. Remember, if you have a lot of horsepower and you have not a sticky tire, you just do a rolling burnout. You're not moving. So the idea of drifting is to go as fast as you can while spinning the tires. So that's the misconception between maybe the amateur drifting and professional drifting, is that these cars are built unlimited. My car is 1,080 kilos, 970 horsepower, and it has got everything pushed at that high rev range to make sure that you can spin those tires. And that's the misconception, is grip. We have a lot of grip in the cars because we want to chase our competitor as close as we can. And it's almost like a little bit of cat and mouse between the two competitors. If one's faster than the other won't catch it and get close. So we have to make sure that we have all that grip. So yeah, there's some misconceptions about drifting. And I think if you watch a competition, you can understand it pretty quickly of how it works. But it isn't a straight stopwatch or a start and finish line like many other motorsports. It's a little bit different. And I think once you watch it, it can get very consuming because it's very interesting, very different machinery, very different crazy cars. And some of the cars that will be coming to Castle Combe, you beggars belief that it exists as a car at all. So it's we have Volvo there with a 3-rotor Mazda engine with 900 horsepower. We've got crazy stuff there that people will probably say, and not only is it crazy, but it works really well as a competition vehicle. So there's some cool stuff there. We're looking forward to seeing some of the international guys have shipped their car from America and different places to be at the event as well. And these are very famous cars in the automotive internet world that people in the UK will get to see for the first time.
It is. I mean, there's so much to get excited about, isn't there? I mean, you guys are actually officially there 2 days, aren't you? But I think the Friday's like a VIP closed access, isn't
VIP
it?
and testing, yeah, and practice.
Yeah.
Saturday,
and
the main
LZ's actually there as well.
So Adam LZ obviously is at all these events because he's the co-founder, and we've got the biggest he would be, as I said, probably top 5 competitor in the world now, but at the same time he's also the biggest personality in the sport, and he's also there with James Dean, and James Dean is the most decorated driver of all time when it comes to drifting. He is the most successful. He's a 5-time US champ, record breaker, and he's a Guinness Book of World Records holder. So he has never competed in the UK before, so this will be his first time being in the UK, and he's there for fun. He's in one of his more interesting, crazy cars as opposed to his most competitive. But they're all there to have fun and put on a show for the fans, which is the number one priority of this event. Yes, everyone wants to win, but if they win, they get a personalized skateboard. So it's not like a huge prize fund. We do that to remind all these guys that it is just a bit of fun. But you know, when the red kits goes and the helmets go on, they'll be trying to win it for sure.
But I thought there was this coveted trophy, the Kansai Wheels trophy.
Sorry, you're right. The Kansai Wheel trophies as well are there, and they're kind of a half alloy wheel that's cut and custom made. And again, this is from some of our sponsors to make sure people have a lot of fun with this, because these guys compete professionally. It's a bit like a Formula One driver. You know, they want to come and have a bit of fun. It's very like, you know, they want to drive something else, you know, not have all that
Race
stress.
of Champions at the end of the year. They do the Race of Champions.
Very, very similar concept. And it's something just, you know, an equalizer. We also are all on the same tire. So that's something that doesn't happen at any other competition. Tire Streets UK are sponsoring all of the tires for this so that they all are on the same tire, which means that there will be some underdogs that'll get a chance at the big boys here. You know, some local heroes can take on the world champion, but have a little bit more of a level playing field. So that does make it quite fun to watch when you see guys who may not be a big name, but by next, you know, the Saturday, they might be a huge name by beating some of the best in the world.
No, it just sounds phenomenal, because I mean, I was just looking at that, the top 24 competition for the Kansai Wheels trophy. But as you say, all sorts of fantasy battles that you'll make up on the day, or do you make it up the day before?
We make it up on the day. I mean, to be honest, we try and keep it fluid, because what we do, unlike most, you know, motorsport events, because we have freedom. This isn't a championship. This is just a fun event. We can feed off the audience. If the audience are liking a driver or a car, we'll say, let's bring him back in again. You know, we've had situations where this would never happen in motorsports, but a guy can have mechanical failure and he can jump in somebody else's car. We even had a battle last year where on the start line, 2 drivers swapped their cars without ever driving them before and did a battle. So, and we kind of make it up as we go along, because these are all the things the rules wouldn't allow in competitive drifting. We just say, what's the fans want to see? Let's do it.
It is about the show, isn't it?
Four cars in one battle. We can do anything we want. Yes. So.
Wow, I do love it. I'm very lucky. I host one of the arenas at the British Motor Show the last couple of years, and obviously a real crowd puller is when we get the drift boys in. And it was really interesting to see is that when we had the pro drifters in each of the days, we decided to play around and actually get the crowd to cheer for who they thought had won.
Yep.
And so
that is exactly how we judge our fantasy battles. So we have...
And they get it, don't they? This is what impressed me, though, is that I was like going, right, are we going to have to sort of try and get them to understand? But it was like they were able to see, going, no, that he let him get too far away, so therefore it's not him, whereas he was on it. And they got it, and they were actually cheering 9 times out of 10. They cheered for want of a better phrase, the correct winner, if you will. And I was super impressed by that.
Yeah, I think it's once you watch a couple of runs, you get the idea of what they're trying to do, and then you get invested, like any sport, and you get invested in how someone's better or worse. And I think that's what we want. We want the fans to be engaged the whole way through the show. We want people to come and see the best cars that have been built in the country in terms of modifications, because that's also a level of competition, because the biggest YouTubers in the world of that type of thing are there judging their cars. So they get to come and see the best cars in the UK, give their opinion on it, and end up in these videos with millions of views. So it's a real buzz of bringing what people generally watch on the screen to real life and in the flesh. And we've seen such amazing moments from that these people actually get to see things in real life, which of course, when it comes to cars, there's a big difference between seeing something on the internet or your TV and then witnessing it in the flesh. It's a different feeling.
Of course it is. As far as the day goes, it looks like, assuming that this timetable stays true, VIPs are allowed in from 8, but general spectators from 8:30. 9 a.m. drift practice starts. 11 o'clock, there's a bit of a coffee break. Main event qualifying starts at 11:30. 1 o'clock is then the drift fantasy battles and attraction run, so we'll know by 1 o'clock what you're planning to do. 1:30.
And we like to put some surprises in there too of what will be there.
Good. 1:30 a track break again, and then at 2:30 the main event top 24 competition, and then at 5:15 the main event podium ceremony that'll take us through to about 5:30, give or take. So you got a bit of fat in the game there if there's any delays, but that gives people an idea. I mean, presumably there's going to be a lot of videos coming out of this, because I know that I've even got one person here, Tyler Garland, says, I wish I could be at LZ World Tour for Castle Combe so badly. Seems absolutely incredible. We'll definitely watch any videos after, because this thing sold out in a blink of an eye, didn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible that we have so much support for this type of event in the UK. In fact, when we ran the event in Ireland, there was, thousands of people from the UK flying into Ireland to watch the event because it was the closest stop they could get to. We really wanted to bring it to the UK. And when I came to the Forge Action Day last year, I sat and spoke with the guys at Castle Combe, and the vibes were great. We wanted to do something in the UK. They had the right openness, I guess, to let us, get a little wild with it, because it's a pretty wild event, controlled chaos, and, believed in the product. And for us, it was, something that we wanted to show that the UK had a great fan base for this. And we were, I would say, not as surprised as maybe some, because we knew there'd been a gap in the market for a while for a top-level drift event in the UK. And it has, this is the one we wanted to bring to the fans that people could, get. And it feeds back to the guys in the scene and inspires them to build more cars and go to more track days. So that's always what we want to do. Wherever we go, we want to inspire the future of the sport. So, somebody might be standing on the fences next Saturday, and they'll see what's happening. They'll get the vibe, and in 10 years, they're joining us at the top level. So that seems to have been the way it's gone for every motorsport. We just want to make sure people have a good time, but also inspire that the UK has an amazing car culture scene and a subculture. Drifting is I would say subculture. It's quite popular, but it's something that, a lot of people are very passionate about, and it's not always represented for them other than a demonstration at an event. So for now, they have a whole event to showcase the sport is fantastic.
And to showcase that you guys really have put a lot of control and effort into this, because in its wild days and a wild undertone, it has a bad reputation,
for sure,
caused by the few. But you guys, and I speak to a lot of them that goes, no, we're policing this now. This is to show that this is a real sport. This is art. I call it ballet on 4 wheels, because the control is phenomenal. And it's about showing it for what it should be and policing it strong enough to make sure that it isn't the few ruining it for the many.
Exactly, and of course, drifting in its bare bones essentials back in the 80s, 90s started with people doing it on the street. But I think now drifting has got to a point where you can relate drifting and what happens on the street the same way you can relate rallying to people driving fast down a back road or a B road, because it's gone so far from that. These are professional drivers, professional sponsors, professional content. It's a very polished product, and again, drifting's a young sport. You know, if you look back at Formula One, and it's really polished itself in the last 15, 20 years, where drifting has only started really being a competition in this side of the world probably from 2008 or 9, maybe 10. But I think now it's really come into its own as its own entity. And I think that, you know, fans they follow it religiously. They know all the drivers that are there. They'll be, you know, sign a lot of autographs, and we would love to meet everybody at these events, but it would go on for weeks. But we try and give them the best show that we possibly can. And it's been amazing. We've gone to so many different countries, met so many different people, and we drag a couple of drivers from each and bring them along with us on the tour. And that's what the drivers and our fans are going to see in Castle Combe, is a mix of drivers from all over the world that probably would never be in the one place at the one time unless it was something like this.
And just to sort of bring it round to a full conclusion on this, is that it's also, I'm quoting now, running alongside one of the biggest car shows that the circuit's ever attempted to pull off. So there's an awful lot off track as well to see.
Yeah, the off track is two main areas. One is we got the traders. So we got all of the best and biggest brands, a lot of them even European, coming to this event, showcasing some amazing builds that they represent, their products. So it's a real, you know, marketplace atmosphere. You can walk around, see the newest products, pick up something in merchandise, whatever you want to do for your own car. But also we are pretty strict on who we let into the car show. So there's a lot of criteria on our side to have variety, but also quality. So it's not a car club style thing. This is a individual. We have picked you as one of the best 500 cars in the country. Come and show your car I think that's going to be one of the highlights for everybody, is that you get to see all of these cars that may also never have been in the one place in the one time. I mean, we have, I think, over 40 or 50 cars traveling from Germany, from Switzerland, to come to the event with cars that have never been in the UK before. So there's a lot of people traveling and making that effort. And I think it's going to be a real good vibe for those guys to have all those cars together as well.
It really will. I think I always, I don't know whether it'd be seen as a highlight, but when Richard Hammond tried to drift in Top Gear back when they were on Top Gear, and it actually was really good because he showed it is so much harder than you think.
It is,
and he just couldn't do it, could he?
In that particular drift episode, he was taken on by a 14-year-old child in a drift car. And that child just won the world championship on Saturday in Poland. So it goes to show.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's amazing. And wasn't it someone with, was it no arms or no legs?
Yeah, no arms, and he was also competing in Poland at the weekend. Yeah.
Wow.
And so the characters are a big part of the sport. As most motorsports, the characters and the cars are what you want to watch. We just take all the characters and the cars. Everyone is a character in a car, because in a general competition sense, you have, you know, normal Joe Soap goes from amateur to pro to the top level. Here we just pick the craziest people we know from around the world, the craziest builds, throw them all into one competition, and even we don't know what's going to happen. So that's the most fun part for us, is that it's not a predictable event. There's a lot of weird stuff going on, and I think that's where we all find that enjoyment in the unpredictability.
I do love that. Andy Blestow said, I'll be marshalling at LZ. Super excited. Had great fun with the drift guys at Goodwood Festival of Speed. Medic Mason, who will be there, I'm sure, even though I hope you're all well. And he says, you've not drifted until you've drifted a 3.5 ton V8 LDV rescue unit. He's done that.
Hey, if he wants to do a halftime show for us next week, he can come along.
Don't encourage him, for God's sake. Pete Thornhill says, hopefully coming up on the Saturday, looking forward to this one. It does just sound absolutely amazing. There's plenty of learn to drift sites popping up around the country as well now, isn't there?
For sure. I mean, the best thing to do now is, you know, we're trying to encourage people to learn to drift correctly and in the right environment and in a controlled environment. And that to me is where you become a really good driver, because you are in a safe space. You can try things without the consequence of something going wrong. And I think that's where we see a lot in the UK of schools popping up, people learning, going on amateur track days, using their cars in a safe environment. And this is what we're trying to do is show them how far you can go. You know, a lot of the drivers that are going to be, especially UK drivers that are joining us next weekend, are now professional drivers, and they started, you know, from humble beginnings with small BMW, you know, 325s, wrecked BMWs, and then eventually they're now running these professional system programs and competitions. And that to me is what it's all about. We're a big community. We, like every motorsport community, we wanted to grow, and hopefully events like this can not only entertain but plant the seeds, you know, for bigger things in the future. So we're very much we're a passionate bunch, and we want to make sure that having everybody leave Castle Combe with a smile on their face and plenty of videos on their phone is exactly what we want. So if we've done that, we've done our job.
Absolutely. Just sounds absolutely amazing, and I wish you masses of luck. Max, I know you're in the green room. Is there anything you need to add at this point? No, that's fine. I've got to check with the boss, Dave. I've got to make sure that, you know, the boss is happy. Genuinely, best of luck with it, and it sounds incredible. And hopefully it won't be the last time that we see you guys back here.
Oh, hopefully we're going to see how much havoc we raise and see. But I know Graham and the guys in Castle Combe are all looking forward to seeing what we bring, and they've been amazing. I would say a massive thank you to Castle Combe, because they have been one of the most, I would say, proactive, positive venues we've ever worked with. They're pumped for it. They've given us freedom to put a great show on. We're building grandstands where grandstands have never been built before in Castle Combe. So I think, you know, we're doing an infield grandstand, external grandstand. It's going to be crazy. This is not going to look like any other event in Castle Combe. So we're hoping that it all goes to plan. And the only thing we can ever worry about is the weather. But either way, we're still going to have a great time, whether it's rain or sun or, you know, it's UK and Ireland. It could be snow. But we're going to go out there and have a good time. And I want to make sure that everybody appreciates the fact that Castle Combe, one of the very few venues in the country that were so open-hearted to us about this. And I think we're going to prove that with the sellout of the tickets and how many smiles we're going to put on faces, that I think it'll be worth the gamble.
Absolutely amazing. I think they're the best words to finish on, Dave. I take it that means there's nothing I've missed out that you'd like anybody to know.
No, as I said, I'm hoping you come along to check it out, because then I think you'll also end up with a little bit of an understanding. Or maybe not. Maybe we might all look like idiots, and you might say, hey, it's entertaining. But it's one of those things where I think we want to be a big part of the culture. And as I said, very happy to be in Castle Combe. Pumped to do our first UK event. It's probably a long time coming. So we're bringing all the guns for this one.
I'm already converted, mate. I get to do plenty with Drift Boys, and I love it. It's absolutely amazing. Dave, thank you so much for joining us, mate, and hopefully we'll catch up again.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it. We'll see you at the event.
No problem. Thanks, Dave. Cheers, buddy.
Thank you.
So there you go. Thank you to Dave Egan, the CEO of Drift Games, an absolute legend. And I'm pumped. I'm like trying to have to make sure that I can get over there somehow. Really amazing. So that's Saturday the 27th. Sadly, if you don't have tickets, no, it's not possible to get in this year. But keep your eyes peeled. Hopefully, this is the start of a lot more. Right, let's move a little bit more up to date, because we've got this weekend's action, and that's kind of going very different. So instead of the modern super high, crazy horsepower, crazy colours, crazy smoke, is we're going for historic racing, and it's back to a highlight, award-winning, let's not forget, for Castle Combe Circuit. It's the Autumn Classic. So let's bring out Max Simmons and, of course, Marcus Pye. Good evening, gentlemen.
Evening, Dorsey.
How are we doing?
You guys have got to follow that now.
It's a hard act to follow, isn't it? I mean, Dave's passionate about his stuff, just as we are about, I love historic car racing. Max is mad on motorcycle racing. We all get it, but in different ways. And that's the beauty of motorsport, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. And that was nice comments, Max, wasn't it, to hear about how it's perceived that you guys at the circuit have been towards them as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think for us it's a really exciting event to bring to Castle Combe, and it's something, it's something really different, and hopefully we'll bring some new people to Combe for the first time, and hopefully we'll bring some regulars along to see something different as well. So yeah, I think the staff are all really excited about it as well.
I bet they are. Right, let's bring it to the Autumn Classic, award-winning, massive annual event at Castle Combe that has just grown in stature, Max, hasn't it? It was a no-brainer that the effort needed to be put in to make it as much going on off track as there was on track, because it was already attracting a big crowd.
Yeah, it's to be honest, it's kind of become one of, if not the biggest race meetings that we have all season. So yeah, it's something that we really try and put a little bit of extra effort into, and kind of have a few different things going on to really celebrate the event. And particularly this year, with it being the 75th anniversary of the circuit, it's really a chance for us to kind of celebrate all the history that Castle Combe has.
Absolutely. I've just realised that Jed Dawes taken a mickey out of me. He said, "That's a new word for you, Dawesy." Pumped. I'm getting down with the kids, mate. It's all fine. Presumably Kat, she said, evening all, just home after watching the first of the weekend races arrive. And without going into too much detail just yet, Marcus, that's going to be a lot of races, because it always attracts a lot of cars and races to this event, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. And of course, we've got a massive entry this weekend. It's the best entry we've ever had for the Autumn Classic. And we're really excited about it. I mean, across the board, we're going to have great racing.
We are. I don't know why your camera's frozen on us there, but thankfully we got your audio clear. Max, on your front, I'm just going to remove you in case you can. There he goes. He's come. He'll come back in a minute. But Max, give us an insight. What sort of things can we look forward to seeing off track over the Autumn Classic weekend?
Yeah. So what we've tried to do this year is kind of focus all of the off-track entertainment into more of one area, so it's easy for people to find, and there's kind of it's kind of your one-stop shop to some extent with the off-track entertainment. So that area is the display space at Camp Corner. So for anyone that's been to the circuit before, kind of behind the Camp Spectator Bank and all along there up to Westway and Bobby Chicane. So yeah, as normal, we'll have several hundred cars on display from car clubs and individual owners. There'll be a lot of classic cars and some really kind of unique and interesting cars on display, with a lot of their owners there that I'm sure will be very keen to talk to people about their pride and joys as well. And then same as last year, kind of smack in the middle of that, we've got the auction happening. So it's being run by Doran Rees Auction House again. So it's classic, performance, sports car auction. I know this year as well, they're actually bringing a lot of motorsport memorabilia, which is a new one for the auction at Combe. So there should be a lot of interesting stuff going on in the auction. The live auction itself is happening on the Saturday from 12 till about 4 p.m. But they will still be there on Sunday with everything on display, and anything that doesn't get bought on the Saturday during the auction is kind of available for negotiation on the Sunday as well. So it's still worth checking out.
I think there was a few bits that went early before the auction last year as well. I think
they do have a very impressive range of cars on display. So it's
you've got enough money.
Some do get snapped up fairly quickly. And to be fair to them, they're very good at kind of getting a wide range of cars in the auction. So there's anything. Some of the starting prices last year were a few £1,000s up to over £100,000 for the top end cars. So it's kind of whatever your budget. There might be something for you.
Yeah, I wish. I kind of go looking at it with like a I wish kind of thing, and it really is. It is a wonderful mix, though, isn't it? I mean, there was some project cars, I think I remember, maker-uppers, but some impressive ones. Some that maybe were cars that you just loved as a kid. I think I've always talked about, I've got a weird love for TR7s. I don't know why, since I was a kid, I just loved those. And we know that they're not good. What did someone call it the other day? The Liverpool limo or something like that, they called it. But I'm sure that there was a Sierra Cosworth that was on sale there last year as well.
Yeah, there will be a mix of everything, and it kind of regardless of the auction, it makes for quite a good little car show within the car display area as well. So it's it's definitely worth taking a wander around if you're there, even if you don't have any intention of buying anything.
Yeah, just if you're that way inclined, put a padlock on your wallet then.
Yeah, that's a good shout. And then another thing for this year that we've moved to the camp area is the live music. So again, that's kind of next to where the auction house will be. So we've got a band for Saturday, a band for Sunday. So on Saturday, we've got a Red Hot Riot playing. So they're a kind of a live rockabilly swing band. So they actually played at Goodwood Revival last weekend. So if anyone was there, they may well have seen them there. But yeah, they're joining us on Saturday. And then on Sunday, it's kind of the staple band of the Autumn Classic, which is the Brent Jones Big Band. So they'll be there playing all their classics as usual. Both bands will be playing multiple sets each day. We'll have some set lists up around kind of where the band are playing, so kind of just have a wander by and have a look out for that if you want to make sure that you don't miss them.
Yeah.
And then there'll also be majority of the trade stands will be kind of in that area as well, along with hot food and drink catering. So there's a little bit of everything over there. So in between trying to catch all the racing, there'll be plenty to keep people entertained over in that area.
It sounds it, and that kind of So the music, because the music was behind the cafe in the paddock.
It was. So what we tried to do this year is move more things into the same area so that people don't miss out on them, because there's a lot of racing going on and there's a lot of space around the track to explore. So it's easy to kind of miss out on stuff. So we tried to kind of focus it in on that area a little bit more. Okay. That being said, in the paddock there is still the special car display that we put on every year. So that's in its usual spot, which is known as the Merlin lawn, but it's kind of it's in the center of the paddock. And I think a particularly exciting one this year, with it again being the 75th anniversary of the circuit. It was we've really taken it as an opportunity to celebrate the early history of the circuit. So half the display will be really focused on the first 5 years of racing at Castle Combe. So there'll be some really interesting cars to see on that side. And then the other side, we've got lots of Fraser Nash cars on display, with Fraser Nash being kind of one of the feature races on the Sunday. And also the Autumn Classic poster artwork this year features 2 Fraser Nashes on it as well, with I think it's Sterling Moss, and I'd have to check my notes for the other driver, Tony Cook. So I think that's going to be a really, really interesting display as well.
No, absolutely it will. And of course, in that marquee with the show cars, that I believe is where I'm carrying out the star driver interviews as well, isn't it? Yeah,
that's right. So we'll have you in the tent at various points over the weekend. Interviewing some star drivers and hopefully some of the exhibitors as well. So again, we're still kind of just tweaking the schedule for that. So we'll make sure we have some lineups on and around the marquee. So again, people can kind of check out when you'll be interviewing certain people and make sure they don't miss out on anyone they particularly want to hear from.
Because it is some special drivers that we're catching up with as well. Did I notice though? I know we've said that the band's now playing over the sort of by the auction and all of that sort of stuff behind camp. But it still says entertainment behind the cafe on a map that I saw. Is there still something going on there?
There is. So we've new for this year. We've got some gardening games. So it's some sort of
nice
games like croquet and beanbag toss and a few other things. So we'll be setting that all up out the back of the cafe. So definitely worth popping by and having a go if you've got time.
So, Marcus, welcome back. Thank you for sorting out the issues and great to see you back. We were talking about all the different things on the go, the auction, the band and everything, and all the cars on show, plus in the marquee in the paddock, and obviously the Fraser Nashes in the set. This is one of those events you love being the lead commentator for, but you hate being shut away in a box when there's so much that you don't get to go and see.
Oh, I can cope with it. It's it's fine. The Fraser Nash stuff is absolutely outstanding at Castle Combe. Really looking forward to that. And I think that across the weekend, there's so many different classes coming into play. Everything from cars of the 1920s to cars that were built fairly recently really makes it a special event.
It does. I mean, if we look, and don't panic. I know your camera's frozen again, Marcus, but seriously, your audio's fine, so we'll go with that. And you're not pulling a silly face, so you're fine. We've got. I mean, do we still call these modern? We got Superformance Ferrari. It does include some modern kit in that, doesn't it?
Well, they're pretty modern. I mean, up to the 355 challenges, which make up about half the field, but they're 328s going to be near the front as well, and going back to Mondials and things like that. So they're all V8 cars, not like the more modern cars we see in the Castle Combe GT Championship, but a nice representation. Hopefully, we'll get some close racing. We have had in the past at Castle Combe there, and of course we remember in these events the local Ferrari hero Ron Fry. It takes us back to when I first went to Castle Combe in 1967, and I still remember those days really, really well.
Oh, we lost him.
Oh, I think we lost him.
We did. He was in full flight. I thought that we'd only lost his camera. The audio was working, and he was in full flight there. I mean, and this is the beauty, isn't it? We've got such a mix of things racing, Max, and Marcus's knowledge is unmatched, frankly, in all of this stuff, which is amazing. I remember that, didn't we have one year where everybody cringed because there was like a £10 million Aston, I think it was, that was racing, and it got crunched up at Quarry Corner, because they still race them hard, don't they?
You do see, you do see some really impressive and unique, and then in some cases very expensive cars racing. I know the likes of like the GT and Sports Car Cup in particular have some very impressive cars out in that, and they're not parading. They're most definitely racing as hard as they can. It's always a very, very impressive spectacle. And I think one of the other sort of interesting, I'll call, elements as well is that it's quite a different lineup of races from the Saturday to the Sunday. So it's not kind of a case of what you get at a lot of meetings where you're there on the Saturday, you see qualifying and the racing, and then the Sunday is just more of the same. It's there's a lot of different races on the Saturday to what's happening on the Sunday. So it does make it keeps it very interesting.
It does. I mean, just to give it a quick run through, we were touching already on the Superformance Ferraris. With you were getting an idea of the array, and I've put the link there, by the way, on the screen, where you'll see all the entry lists as well, and any entry list changes will be on the bulletin board on the day. So that is what's gone to the program that you'll see on that link there. We've got the Formula Juniors coming as well. Mini 7s, everybody loves the minis racing around Castle Combe, for goodness sake, the classic minis. GT and Sports Car Cup, which is the hour-and-a-half endurance race with pit stops and everything. Fiskar, Midland Classic Restorations Classic K, and the Norman Jewis Jaguar with the Curie Classic Racing, and the Mini Miglias, they're there as well. On the Sunday, we've got, as well as the Ferraris, the Minis, we got the HRDC, so the Historic Racing Drivers Club, Jack Sears Trophy, Freddie Nash, Fraser Nash, Freddie Giles Memorial Trophy. I got there in the end, Max. Don't worry. Thank God I don't make a living from talking, eh? HRDC, Jerry Marshall Trophy. So we've got some amazing mix of GTs, some touring cars racing, sports cars. We've also got JMC Racing Special Saloons and Mod Sports with Advantage Motorsport Future Classics. The Dunlop All Stars and Classic Alpha Challenge, and and a couple of them where we've got two races, somewhere they're maybe a little bit longer. They were telling me, Max, I know this is more the Castle Combe Racing Club that set this bit up, but apparently we could have, with people lining up to be their championships or series to race in this, we could have filled 3 days. Yeah,
that's what I've been told. I think kind of from the finish of last year's event, the racing club almost kind of had their timetable filled for this year already. So it's it has become, like we were saying at the start, it's become kind of a staple of the Combe calendar and one of the biggest race meetings. So yeah, it's very cool.
Right, Marcus, we've got you moving on the camera at the moment. So we just literally went through the different series and what have you that we've got running. It's really, what highlights are you picking up from this, whether it's the series themselves or whether it's the cars and drivers that we'll see?
I think it's the whole thing. I think one of the great features of the weekend is the GT and Sports Car Cup, unprecedented 42 car entry, 11 women among the racers for that. It's a 90-minute race this year, and it's going to be absolutely cracking. Pre-66 GT cars, pre-63 sports racers, and it's a wonderful family occasion. Many of the teams competing are husband and wives, sometimes with their offspring as well. We've got dads and lads, we've got dads and daughters, we've got sisters and brothers in the group. I think the whole shebang, and it's been going now since right back to 2007, and it's just a cracking event, a real highlight of Saturday's program.
Agreed, and if I remember correctly, the likes of Formula Juniors you're quite passionate about as well.
I am, because Formula Junior was invented to say.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
We have lost him. So anyway, we got the gist that he's very passionate about that. I would imagine it's probably he may try again, but I think that we're sort of nearing the wrap up stage of it. To be fair to him, bless him. But the grids, you can see what they are at the moment when you go to the link that I put up on site, and I'll put it back up there again so that you can see it. Go and check out the entry list for all of these different series, and you'll be able to see just how exciting it is. And remember, it's an open paddock, so you can wander around. And that's the key thing, Max, isn't it? I know we've been talking about the cars that are on show, whether it's the clubs from camp backwards, if you will, the marquee and everything else. But frankly, these race cars in a paddock are amazing cars on show as well.
Yeah, they're just as, if not more impressive in a lot of cases. And yeah, one of the really good things about the event and most events at Combe is that it is an open paddock, so you can kind of walk around, look at all the cars, get reasonably up close with them, have a chat with some of the teams. So yeah, it's really the chance to see some kind of real bits of racing history really close up, and it's something that a lot of kind of events like Goodwood and other places, you don't always get that opportunity to get really close to the cars. So yeah, it's a good point that actually the paddock itself it will be a really interesting area just to kind of have a walk around.
And I encourage people to dress up, by the way. You mentioned the likes of Goodwood. This is great that we get people dressing up in olden gear and all of that sort of stuff. Unfortunately, I've got a horrible feeling I've run out of time to do anything more than something that just questions my wardrobe rather than being in period. But we will see. So make sure you get there. The tickets, you can still get them in advance up until
Friday. Yeah. So right up until the day before, and then they are still available on the gate as well. They're just a little bit more expensive.
Makes sense. Now, I've got it up there where you can buy 1 day and 2 day in advance. You can also pay on the day, but obviously it just goes up a little bit more. And always be aware of this, by the way, is that the website does this thing where it says sold out. That doesn't mean you can't get in for these events. It means that you can no longer buy your in advance ticket. So get there.
Yeah, that's
For
right,
example, I'm assuming that the super early bird is now gone.
Yes, yeah. So there's different tiers of ticket options on the website. So you get like your early bird tickets and your regular tickets. So yeah, the early bird tickets can kind of sell out, but the regular tickets will still be available right up until the day before, and then even once those become no longer available in the evening, then you'll be able to get tickets on the gate as well.
Exactly, yeah, you will without question be able to do that. So if you I will put another link on the screen actually, because obviously the one that I've already put there is for those that want to know about the entry list. But if I just change it to that one now, you're able to go and just jump onto the castlecombe.co.uk website, and you will see it centre stage, frankly, at the moment, isn't it? Being the next event.
You can't miss it.
Exactly, it's there. Jump into it and you'll see all of the information. There's also a news article on there that says what to expect from the day, with so much to go. quick comment here is that Helen McGee, who looks after all of our Mighty Orange Army, thank you to all the marshals attending, as we appreciate there are meeting clashes and you are choosing to support Castle Combe. So yeah, massive thank you to the Orange Army for all of that. Get your tickets in advance is my advice. Just get it. Get the 2 days, 2 days worth of action there to come and see. 2 days worth of entertainment. 2 different bands on each of the days. Saturday you've got an auction. Sunday anything that's left. I love the fact actually, Max, that you were saying that it's not just cars. The memorabilia, that's interesting. I've become obsessed with the programme called Bangers and Cash. And for those who haven't watched it, go and see it. It's amazing where they are auctioning off not just cars, which is incredible, but it is some interesting memorabilia that's there, and you get some really amazing historic stuff in those things.
Yeah, so I haven't seen what's going to be included in their memorabilia part of the auction, but yeah, it's something new, and hopefully should be quite interesting and worth checking out.
Thankfully, the wife's gone out, otherwise she'd be tracking my movements on the day or something.
Yeah,
to be honest.
Can't send your cards.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like, no, there's a new pin on this. What's going on?
Yeah.
But it is a great event, and of course, I mean, was it 2 years ago now? Incredibly, it was award winning as well.
It was, yeah. So 2023, won the RIC award. So yeah.
It was a very proud moment, wasn't it, for everybody concerned with regards. Okay, so that is the details. Do I have details of basically 8:45 on Saturday is the first qualifying, and the same on the Sunday as well. We've got on the Saturday all things going well with any delays or anything, a grid walk, which will be the Super Performance Ferraris. So get yourself on the grid for that. And the historic one for us, which is the title piece, as you said, with the artwork and everything, is that it's the Fraser Nashes that are the grid walk on the Sunday. Mm-hmm. Just still look incredible, don't they? I mean, I'm looking at that artwork. Phenomenal pieces of kit.
Yeah, it's beautiful cars, and it's it should be a really real feature of the weekend, I think.
It should. Well, anything else that you need anybody to know about the weekend?
I don't think so. I think we've covered pretty much everything. There's definitely going to be plenty going on.
There really is. Don't delay. Get down there. If you've never been, and to some people they might kind of go, I'm not sure whether I like historic racing. Well, first off, let me tell you, you will. There's no question about it. It is incredible. These kit, they handle around the corners the way they should, as in they don't just stick to it. They're absolutely perfect round there. And Marcus sends his apologies, everybody. He's bailed out. Is Max playing silly games, so apologies for that, but it's fine. We got a kind of a gist. But yeah, the way they handle, Max and I have already said, they race them hard. There's so much entertainment, there's so much to go and wander around, and you'll just be lost, which is why it's so good that we're back to 2 days again for this event. That means you can really mix it up and see a bit of everything from wherever you choose to go. I think I've sold the virtues of it enough there, but it is from the bottom of my heart. I cannot wait to be there for the 2 days. Max, are you going to be there for it?
I will indeed.
Good man. That's what I like to hear. Well, thank you everybody that's watched. Thank you, Max, for joining us, mate. Appreciate that.
Thank you for having me back.
Thank you to Marcus. Apologies that we weren't able to get what we wanted out of him, and thank you to Dave Egan. Looking forward to LZ World Tour. Are you going to be there for that as well, Max?
Yeah, I will. Yeah, it's going to be another exciting one.
you were nuts. You and your good lady, your now wife, she wasn't at that point.
Yeah,
went out as passengers in those drift cars.
yeah. I've got to experience what it's like to go around the track completely sideways. So yeah, I have an idea of what it's like. So yeah, I can really appreciate it.
Yeah, and this is a motorbike racer that even you got out and went, oh my god.
Yeah.
Incidentally, by the way, congratulations for the other weekend. A great return from your injury. That looked very promising.
Thank you very much. Yeah, we're kind of getting back to it now. So yeah, it wasn't ideal to start the year, but such is motorbike racing sometimes. So yeah, my foot's kind of relatively in one piece now, and we're back to it.
Good. 2 times King of Combe here, of course, as well as his day job and everything like that. So I make no apologies about bringing that one up. So great to see that, Max. See you on the weekend. Hope to see plenty of you there on the weekend. Thank you to the Orange Army. Enjoy yourself on Spectators Bank. Good luck to all of those that are competing as well. Thank you for joining us. Max, I'll see you soon, mate. Everybody else, catch you at the weekend. Cheers all.